Hey everybody, just making a quick video talking a little bit about notches. So apparently everybody hates them. I say apparently because I'm only getting the information that people are hating them online when I read YouTube comments or comments to any articles about phones with notches. All I see are people saying, oh, if there's a notch, I'm not going to buy. But in the real world, I'm not seeing that, especially in major cities. So I live in Hong Kong. Probably one every three or four people here have an iPhone 10. I went to Shanghai recently. Now, granted, I went to the very posh, trendy area of Shanghai where everyone there was like a model or like a fashion blogger, but like 9 out of 10 people had iPhone 10s. That's the case in New York. That's the case in LA. Pretty sure you go to any major city, go to any of like the posh area and look around, everybody has iPhone 10. So the reality is people like to complain, but the fact is, you're still gonna buy a phone with a notch. Like when the OnePlus 6 comes out with Snapdragon 845 and like a bezel screen and like 8 or 10 gigs of RAM, some crazy shit like that, for a cheap price of like 500 bucks, 550, people are gonna buy the OnePlus 6, even though it has a notch. So now it really pains me to admit this because you guys know that I'm not an iOS guy at all. I'm actually an Android guy. But the reality is, Apple was right. The notch makes sense. That's why every Android phone copied the notch. And then as an Android diehard fanboy such as myself, I had to take the L and admit that, shit, Apple was right. All our phones are going to copy Apple. I mean, every phone I've tested so far this year has a notch, except Xiaomi and Samsung, and pretty likely Xiaomi would jump on that bandwagon too. So I've made a video about this before, but I actually think the notch makes even more sense on Android than on the iPhone because the status bar is very important to us Android users. That's where all the notifications are at. And right here is the battery and the time. But the reality is the middle of the status panel, it's usually like useless. Like there's like just nothing there. So why not put a selfie camera there? Then you can push the status bar up. So the fact that this phone has a notch allows the status bar to be up here instead of down here. Like if this phone did not have a notch, if it had a traditional bezel, then the status bar would be down here where that May 12 is, and then this May 12 part would be down here. Then everything gets pushed down, so you're getting less screen. So the notch gives us more screen. So now one of the things that frustrates me about Android phone using notches is it kind of doesn't like to wrap a video all the way around the notch the way the iPhone 10 does. So in a way, it kind of implies that you're still a little bit embarrassed by the notch. Because when I use my iPhone 10, I actually just stretch the video out all the way, even if the little chunk on the screen is missing. So on the Vivo X21, for example, I can't even extend this video further. So the video just completely letterbox. And even if it does extend the notch, it won't go past the notch, and then there's all this dead space right here around the notch. Same with watching videos on the LG G7. So you see, the video normally looks like this. LG lets me stretch out a video, but even then, it does not use this area around the notch. It's just completely dead space right there. So now this is where Oppo comes in. Oppo software actually does it right. So I'm watching Mad Max Fury Road on the Oppo R15 Pro. You are able to stretch out the video to all the way wrap around the notch if you want. But even if you don't, and you watch like that, this area here is not wasted. It's not dead space because check this out. You can swipe and bring up this little sub menu. This is awesome. So this space around the notch, that's completely useless on the LG G7. It's actually useful here on the Oppo R15 Pro. So I'm able to open a chat app. I'm able to talk to my girlfriend. She's in Thailand right now. So I'm able to just send a message to her without really interrupting my video. I can also open another app if I want to set it. And then you have right here, this button lets me take a screenshot. Or if I want to record this video, I can do that. Hit record, and now I'm screen recording in 3, 2, 1. So now I'm screen recording Mad Max Fury Road. This movie is awesome, by the way. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. The best action film of the last 10 years. And then you have another thing here that allows you to turn off notifications or leave them on. So kudos to Oppo for actually coming up with some useful things to do with this dead space around the notch when you're watching a video. And it's not just video actually. Any app where you can go into landscape orientation such as Chrome. So right now I'm going to try to read this article, well my own article actually, in Chrome. I'm able to swipe up here and grab a screenshot if I want. Or I can record my gestures, and you can also of course bring up WhatsApp and all of that too. So again, no space wasted. If you're gonna have a notch, own up to it And on top of that, come up with ways to have information up here to make it useful. That's what's a little bit frustrating with me about the LG G7, because the G7 actually calls this part around the notch a new second screen, but then you can't really do anything with it other than customization. So we'll go into settings real quick, display. New second screen. That's all you can do. You can change the colors of this area. That's it. So why are you calling a second screen when all you can do is change colors? It would be a lot better if you actually let us, I don't know, have like notifications pop up right here. How cool would it be if this second screen worked just like the LG V10 second screen, where I'm on Facebook or something and then I get a WhatsApp message. The WhatsApp message just pops up right there in the dead space around the 2-notch. That would be cool. So props to Oppo for coming up with useful ways to get around the notch. And if you're still a notch hater, I really think you really have to just accept it. It's gonna be in all the phones in 2018. It is not a big deal at all. I really like that it gives you more screen, really. So thanks for watching.